to just take the opportunity to let Yah hear our voices, lift it up to Him in praises, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what it is that we have going on out here in the world, that at this very moment that we just give Him praise. Give Him praise. Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you. Everything we have. Yes. Toda. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh Praise.
on, we in the game.
And so I was looking to, find a good topic. And so the word that I was searching for was feelings. Nothing came up. Feel comes up, but not feelings, right? And they are connected. And I saw that one result in the New King James Version, so I clicked on that, and it says, a fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. That's interesting, right? Yeah. So I went and I looked it up in Bible Hub because I wanted to see a few other versions.
Right.
Because this is what you do when you're studying. Fools give full vent to their rage, but the wise bring calm into the end. A fool vents all of his anger, but a wise man holds it back. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it until afterwards. I think a lot of times, I'll speak my opinion, is if I could have watched my words, I could have avoided a lot of issues in life. Yeah. I think sometimes we have communication breakdowns, which leads to confusion, which leads to arguments. Moving forward, as we've all read so much of the script, but it's in the application of trying to let go of the old man and to be wise with what we know, right, with the Torah. But the drama is still going to be there. Next week, y'all might have a puppy pop up. Right? You never know. Narto said, take the pup to the vet. I said I did, and the address of the vet said Spyglass. Yeah. So I went back and I typed in feel, right? And it means to grope, or to feel, to search out, right? I'm going through the little study. I'm going down, just kind of reading through, and I got down here to Bereshith 31:24, right there. And Yahuwah came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, take heed that thou speak not to Yaakov either good or bad. I said, man, I need to go back and read that, right? So I pulled it up and I started reading it. Then Laban overtook Yaakov. Now Yaakov had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Yaakov, what hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword? That's kidnapping, right? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and did not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I said I got to dig a little further, right? So I pulled up. I was, as we say, we need context. So I went to the top and said, let me just read the whole chapter. All right, and he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Yaakov has taken away all that was our father's, and that which was our father's has he gotten all of his glory. Now that's some boys in their feelings, all right? Well, man, I need to dig in a little bit further. So I scroll back a little bit, and this is where the story starts. I mean, it's a long story, so we're just going to get some highlights out of it. What you got, Texas? Oh, absolutely, man. You can read next.
I googled up that I googled up the word Jacob in the meaning, and the meaning said like thief,
Oh, faith?
like a stealer, thief.
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 Oh, yeah?
Somebody pull it up. Okay, Texas, good.
Alright,
Outside voice, man.
and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing of which his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father draw near. Then am I going to kill my brother Jacob? And the words of Esau, her older son, were reported to what does that say? Rivkah. And she sent and called Jacob, her younger son, and said to him, see, your brother Esau comforts himself concerning you, to kill you. And now, my son, listen to my voice and ride. Flee to my brother Laban in Haran, and stay with him a few days, until your brother's wrath turns away.
Isn't that interesting? She said just a few days, right? Make a little note of that. Until his wrath turns away. Keep going, Tex.
Okay, and then it says, until your brother displeasures turn away from you, and he forgets what you have done to him. And I shall send and bring you from there. And why should I be what does that say? Bereaved of you both in one day. And Rivkah said to Yishak, am I disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth? If Jacob takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, then these who are the daughters of the land, what is my life to me?
A lot of drama.
Getting back to what Maccabees is saying, the name Yaakov does mean thief because he stole the birthright.
Is it thief or is it deceiver?
No, it's not deceiver.
Supplanter.
Yeah, and it says one who seizes, like one who takes.
Takes.
Like one who seizes. I just looked it up. I just looked at it the same way he would have just
Yeah.
looked at it. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's because it's also in reference to him grabbing the heel, like taking his heel when he was coming out.
Awesome. Good job, Texas. Maccabees, you want to read the second one? Real loud.
And Yashwan, Yishak called Jacob and blessed him, and commanded him and said to him, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to Padan Aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and take a wife for yourself from there, from the daughters of Laban for your mother's brother. And Shaddai bless you and make you fruitful and increase you. And you shall become an assembly of peoples, and give your blessing of Abraham to you and Lucy with you, so that you inherit the land of your sojourning, which Elohim gave to Abraham. Oh, Yitzhak sent Jacob away. Oh, so Yitzhak sent Jacob away, and then he went to Padan Aram, to Laban, son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rivkah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. And Esau saw that Yitzhak had blessed Jacob, and sent him away to Padan Aram, to take himself a wife from there, and that he, as he blessed him, he gave him a command saying, do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob had obeyed his father and his mother and gone to Padan-aram.
Good job, good job. Let's speak up.
Good job, Maccabees. Uzi, can you get the next one?
Yes, sir. So Esau saw that the daughters of Canaan did not please his father Yitzchak. And Esau went to Ishmael and took Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael, Abraham's son, the sister of Nebaioth, to be his wife, besides the wives he had. And Yaakov went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he came upon a place and stopped over for the night, for the sun had set. And he took one of the stones of that place and put it on his head, and he lay down in that place to sleep. He put it on his head? Yeah, at his head, I'm sorry. And he dreamed and saw a ladder set up on the earth, and its top reached the heavens, and saw messengers of Elohim going up and coming down on it, and said, Yahuwah stood above it and said, I am Yahuwah Elohim of Abraham, your father, and the Elohim of Yitzchak. The land on which you are lying, I give it to you and your seed. And your seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and you shall break forth to the west and to the east, to the north and to the south. And all the clans of the earth shall be blessed in you and in your seed. And see, I am with you and shall guard you wherever you go, and shall bring you back to this land. For I am not going to leave you until I have done what I have spoken to you.
So that would give you a lot of confidence if you were to have a conversation like that with the Most High, right? That's the thing that came to my mind. He is, I'm going to be with you, and I'm going to make this thing happen. Narto, can you read the next one, please?
I would, but
Just don't touch nothing. Just
electricity. All right, and Yaakov woke from his sleep and said, truly, Yah is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid and said, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of Elohim, and this is the gate of the heavens. And Yaakov rose early in the morning and took the stone that he had put at his head, set it up as a standing column, and poured oil on top of it. And he called the name of this place Bethel. However, the name of that city had been Luz previously. Light, Luz. Okay. And Yaakov made a vow saying, seeing Elohim is with me and has kept me in this way that I am going, and has given me bread to eat and a garment to put on. When I have returned to my father's house in peace, and Yah has been my Elohim, then this stone which I have set as a standing column shall be Elohim's house. And of all that you give me, I shall certainly give a tenth to you.
I just wanted to say in 17,
real loud.
and in verse 17, where it says wonderful, I was looking at, because it says dreadful in the chapter, and I wanted to look at it. I just thought it was interesting how wonderful and dreadful can have some similarities. That was it.
Hey, Joshua, can you see that? Yes? Can you read it, please?
Yaakov moved on and came to the land
In your outside voice, please.
of the east. And he looked and saw a well in the field, and saw 3 flocks of sheep lying by it. For out that well they watered the flock, and a large stone was on the wall's mouth, and all the flock would be gathered there. Then they would roll the stone from the wall's mouth, and water the sheep, and put the stone back in its place on the wall's mouth. So Jacob said to them, "My brothers, where are you from?" And they said, "We are from Haran." And he said to them, "Do you know Laban, son of And they said, "We know him." So he said to them, "Is he well?" And they said, "Well, and see, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep." And he said, "See, it is still high day, and not the time for the livestock to be gathered together. Water the sheep and go and feed them." But they said, "We are not allowed until the flocks are gathered together, and they have rolled the stone from the well's mouth. Then we shall water the sheep." While he was still speaking with them, Rachel came from her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd.
A shepherdess. She was out there doing the work.
Show enough.
So
Build them all.
you
Shepherd.
pull up another version. Let's see if it says shepherdess.
It says she kept them.
She kept
She
them.
kept them.
She was doing the work. It's interesting, right? Imanava, can you get this next one?
And it came to be when Yaakov saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Yaakov went near and rolled the stone from the well's mouth and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Yaakov kissed Rachel and lifted up his voice and wept. And when Yaakov...
Man, that's a kiss, ain't it? They kiss
cried.
and cried. Kind of like you, you know? Good.
And when Yaakov told Rachel that he was her father's relative and that he was Rivka's son, she ran and told her father. And it came to be, when Laban heard the report about Yaakov, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him and embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his house. Then he told Laban all these matters. And Laban said unto him, "You are indeed my bone and my flesh." And he stayed with him for a new moon. Then Laban said to Yaakov, "Because you are my relative, should you therefore serve me or not? Let me know, what should your wages be?" And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. And Leah's eyes were weak, but Rachel was beautiful in form and beautiful of appearance. And Yaakov loved Rachel, so he said, "Let me serve you 7 years for Rachel, the younger daughter."
Yeah. What do you think that might mean when it says Leah's eyes were weak?
She's older.
Huh?
She's older.
So if you subscribe to what Josh
If you subscribe.
Just said that they are twins. Oh. In Joshua, it says that Leah and Rahel are twins.
But what does it talk about Leah's appearance?
Eyes.
What's it talk about?
Like tender eyes.
Because some people have said, you know how you have one eye that doesn't
A lazy eye?
Lazy eyes.
If her eyes were weak, they crossed up.
She had, we know that,
Rahel was a shepherdess. Maybe Leah was, you could see in her eyes that she was kind of feeble, kind of, you know.
Interesting.
Kind of feeble, weak, you know. Because we saw that Rahel was a shepherdess, therefore we knew she was strong, she could walk, you know.
She had a beautiful form.
Beautiful form, she was in good shape, you're right, so.
Interesting. So we know what happens, right? Well, somebody fell in love, right? And I told y'all we've been listening to some love songs. Y'all probably know this one. It says, when a man falls in love.
Man loves a woman.
When a man loves a woman.
When a man loves a woman.
He keeps his mind on nothing else. He traded the world for good.
Y'all know that song? It says if she's bad, he can't see it. She can do no wrong and turn his back on his best friend if he puts her down.
Man, and slap people too.
When a man loves a woman, he'll spend his very last dime trying to hold on to what he needs. He give up all of his comforts and sleeps out in the rain if she says that's the way it ought to be.
They over there talking about hallelujah.
I'd be listening to these songs. I was like, all right, what are they? Because see, Ema, being a singer, knows all the words. I always listen to the beats. I never really paid attention to the words. Man, I'd be listening to these words. I'd be like, I see why how much the time is up in there getting everything all twisted, getting people all into their emotions, right? Into their emotions. All right, sir, you mind getting this next one?
No problem. Yes, sir. Bereshit 29:19, and Laban said, it is better that I give her to you than that I should give her to another man. Stay with me. So Yaakov served 7 years for Rahel, and they seemed to him but a few days because of the love he had for her.
Just a few
21 years.
Verse 21, then Yaakov said to Laban, give me my wife, for my days are completed, and let me go into her. And Laban gathered all the men of the place and made a feast. And it came to be in the evening that he took Leah, his daughter, and brought her to Yaakov. And he went into it. And Laban gave his female servant, Zilpah, to his daughter, Leah as a female servant. And in the morning it came to be that, see, it was Leah. So he said to Laban, what is this you have done to me? Was it not for Rahel that I served you? Why then have you deceived me? And Laban said, it is not done this way in our place to give the younger before the firstborn. Complete the week of this one, then we give you this one too, for the service which you shall serve with me still another 7 years.
You ain't got no choice.
So Laban is Yaakov's mom's brother. So this is his uncle. And these are his cousins, right?
And keeping it in the family. For sure.
Keeping it in the family for sure, yeah, no doubt.
Well, it's better than Kenyan.
I don't agree with it, but I'm just saying. Now, according to Leviticus 18, now I'm good. Yeah.
So how you didn't see that it was late?
That's what I always how you ain't know, bro?
Well, it says, yeah, might have had something to drink. They might have looked very similar, right?
We do have to consider a wedding back then was a week long. Family got to come in, bunch of drinking, people drunk.
He had a whole week to look at.
Yeah, Joshua said that she might have, culturally, she might have been covered. Right?
A veil?
Yeah, a veil, because if you remember in Rebecca, actually when she met Yitzhak for the first time,
Yes.
she had to uncover herself.
That's
Well,
right.
she covered herself when she met him, and then she had to uncover herself.
Good point.
That's a possibility. And also, they might have still look very similar in shape and everything,
That's
even
right.
though her eyes were.
She might have-
She was older, so.
I said she's the firstborn.
Right.
Does
Yes.
not mean that they're not twins. That just means she was born first.
And maybe she wore sunglasses.
But you gotta remember, they weren't wearing tight fitting clothes too, so, I mean, she had probably a nice, long, flowing dress.
Right.
It's like, you know, so.
So I've been looking kind of alike.
Yeah, and think of the lighting, right? So we don't have lighting like this. It might have been a little fire outside, and
It's dark.
10 might be dark.
And
Yeah.
once you start to act, it's like not time to be looking at no faces.
I know.
Thank you.
After all, it's been 7 long years.
7 years, yeah. Yeah. Interesting, right? A lot of drama. A lot of emotions here.
I was wondering too, like, why did he have to work more? Was he broke?
But that's another point.
So why didn't he just buy it straight out, like pay the dowry or whatever?
Because he, in the ring.
Oh, that was the bride price?
That's why they agreed.
Oh, okay. Because if he had the money, he'd be like, look, I got, 300 cows over here or whatever. Maybe he didn't.
He escaped with the clothes on his back because his brother was about to kill him.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the run.
He was broke. I was just wondering about that.
Those are all good points. All good points. Can you read that, Nacho?
Yes. And Yaakov did so and completed her week. Then he gave him his daughter Rahel too as wife. And Laban gave his female servant Bilhah to his daughter Rahel as a female servant. And he also went into Rahel, and he also loved Rahel more than Leah. And he served with Laban still another 7 years. And Yah saw that Leah was unloved, and he opened her womb, and Rahel was barren. And Leah conceived and bore a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, for Yah has looked on my affliction, because now my husband is going to love me. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, because Yah has heard that I am unloved, he gave me this son too. And she called his name Shimon. And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now, this time my husband is joined to me, because I have borne him 3 sons. So his name was called Levi.
Yeah, isn't that interesting that she would use that expression to say, now he's joined to me?
Right.
I've already had 2 children with him. And this third one, he ain't going no place.
And she conceived again and bore a son, and said, now I praise Yah. So she called his name Yehudah, and she ceased bearing.
So when you go into the next chapter, you read a little bit, it seems like there's a little bit of drama going on between the 2 wives and all the childbearing that's going on. It's very interesting.
Quick question, please. Verse 28, he said, and Yaakov did so and completed her week. Then he gave him his daughter Rahel.
What is the question?
The question is, he completed only a week.
He only...
He had to wait until he married.
He didn't work a whole 7 years for Rahel. Another 7 years.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. No, he did not.
It says right here, he served with Laban still
No, he
another.
already have Rahel for the rest of his 7 years.
I know, but he still kept his word. That's what
He
happened.
gave it to her in advance.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
He gave it to her
On credit.
Yes.
After a week, so he didn't work 14 years to have Rahel.
You talking about before he had Rahel? That was very
He ended up working 14 years in all, but before he had her was only the
I know what you
7.
can say. What's the question?
He said, well, I'm not gonna make you suffer for 7 more
But he
years.
still
So
She
here,
asked you.
make the agreement. We just do 1 week, here she is.
Well, that's interesting, huh?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep.
I always how you had to do it.
I just, sometimes when you don't understand
Because
something.
in the church, that's what they say. That he had to work 14 years to have Rahel. And so in your mind, you think he worked 14 years and then he had Rahel.
Right.
But when you read it slowly and by yourself, then you see like, oh, he did a week, then he got Rahel, but then he did the other 7 years.
Isn't that something how he kept his word even though his uncle didn't?
Interesting. That's why at the end of the day it makes sense. I'm gone, man.
I know. Oh, she might.
That should stay even longer, right?
And it came to be when Rahel had born Yosef that Jacob said to Laban, send me on my way to go to my own place, to my land. Now, that's him saying that to Laban. Do you remember what the mother said to Jacob when he left?
That's going to be a few days.
A few days, and I will send for you. That didn't happen. No. Give me my wives and my children from whom I have served you, and let me go, for you yourself know my service which I have done for you. And Laban said to him, if please I have found favor in your eyes, stay, for I have divined that Yahuwah has blessed me for your sake. And he said, name me your wages, and I give it. So he said to him, you know how I have served you and how your livestock has been with me. For the little you had before I came has increased greatly, and Yahuwah has blessed you since my coming. But now, when am I to provide for my own house too? And he said, what do I give you? And Jacob said, give me naught. If you do this for me, I shall again feed and guard your flocks. Let me pass through all your flocks today. Remove from there all the speckled and spotted sheep, and all the black ones among the lambs, and the spotted and the speckled among the goats, and these shall be my wages. And my righteousness shall answer for me in time to come. When you come concerning my wages, everyone that is not speckled and spotted among the goats and the black among the lambs, it is stolen if it is with me. And Laban said, see, let it be according to your word. So we know how he went and he separated it and they multiplied. And so we're going to jump up here back to Bereshith 31, all right? And he heard the words of Laban's son saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what belonged to our fathers he had made all this wealth. And Jacob would look at the face of Laban and see that it was not toward him as it was before. As it was before, that was my nephew greeting. We family, right? Now it's like, it's like this, right? And Yahuwah said to Jacob, return to your land of your fathers and to your relatives, and I am with you. And Jacob sent and called Rahel and Leah to the field, to his flock, and said to them, I see your father's face, that is not toward me as it was before, but the Elohim of my father has been with me, and you know that I have served your father with all my strength. Yet your father has deceived me and charged me my wages 10 times. But Elohim did not allow him to do evil to me. When he said this, the speckled are your wages, then all the flocks bore speckled. And when he said this, the streaked are your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked. So Elohim has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. And it came to be at the time when the flocks conceived that I lifted up my eyes and looked in a dream and saw the rams which leaped upon the flocks were streaked, speckled, and molted. And the messenger of Elohim spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here I am. And he said, lift your eyes now and see. All the rams which leap on the flocks are streaked, speckled, and molted. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. So sometimes when someone's taking advantage of us, we got to remember that the Most High is watching. Right? Yeah. I am El of Bethel, where you anointed the standing column, and where you made a vow to me. Now rise up, get out of this land, and return to the land of your relatives. And Rahel and Leah answered and said to him, do we still have any portion or inheritance in our father's house? Are we not reckoned by him as strangers? For he sold us and also entirely consumed our silver. So their dad spent up all their stuff. For all the wealth which Elohim has taken from our fathers is ours and our children's. Now then, do whatever Elohim has told you. So Jacob arose and put his sons and his wives on camels, and he drove off all his livestock and all his possessions, which he had acquired, his property of the livestock, which he had acquired in Padam Aram, to go to his father Yitzchak in the land of Canaan. And when Laban had gone to shear his sheep, Rahel stole the house idols that were her father's. And Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean. I think some other, what is it?
Teraphim.
Syrian?
Teraphim is the name of the idol.
Oh, he was looking at the word Aramean.
Aramean, yes.
Oh.
I think it's Syrian, Laban the Syrian, because he did not inform him that he was about to flee. And he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and headed towards the mountain of Gilead. And on the third day, Laban was told that Jacob had fled. Then he took his brothers with him and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and he overtook them in the mountains of Gilead. But in a dream by night, Elohim came to Laban the Aramean and said to him, guard yourself that you do not speak to Jacob either good or evil. So the Most High put him on notice. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brothers pitched in the mountains of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, what have you done? That you deceived me and driven my daughters off like captives taken with a sword. Basically saying you kidnapped them.
Bruh.
Why did you flee secretly and deceive me and not inform me? And I would have sent you away with joy and song and tambourine and lyre.
You take it.
And you did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have been foolish to do this. It is in the power of my hand to do evil to you. But the Elohim of your father spoke to me last night, saying, guard yourself that you do not speak to Jacob either good or evil. And now you have gone because you're greatly longed for your father's house. But why do you steal my mighty ones? Woo!
Mighty.
And Jacob answered and said to Laban, because I was afraid, for I said, lest you tear your daughters away from me, with whomever you find your mighty ones, do not let them live. Now those mighty ones are his idols. Right?
Yeah, that's the same thing.
In the presence of our brothers, see for yourself what is with me, and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rahel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the tents of the two female servants, but he did not find them. And he came out of Leah's tent and entered into Rahel's tent. And now Rahel has taken the house idols and put them in the camel's saddle and sat on them. And Laban searched all about the tent, but did not find them. And she said to her father, let it not displease my master that I am unable to rise before you, for the way of the women is with me. Some other scriptures say the custom. And she searched, and he searched, but he did not find the house idols. And Jacob was wroth and contended with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, what is my transgression? What is my sin that you have hotly pursued me? Now that you have searched all my goods, what have you found of all your household goods? Set it there before my brothers and your brothers, and let them decide between the two of us. These 20 years I have been with you. You're
Man, bro, come on.
Your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried their youngs, and I have not eaten the rams of your sheep. That which was torn by beasts I did not bring to you. I myself bore the loss of it. You required it from my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus was I. By day the heat consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep fled from my eyes. These 20 years I have been in your house. I served you for 14 years for your two daughters, and 6 years for your flock. And you've changed my wages 10 times. Unless the Elohim of my father, the Elohim of Abraham, and the fear of Yitzchak had been with me, you would have now sent me away empty-handed. Elohim has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rendered judgment last night. Woo, he was reading him his rights. He letting him know. Here's the comeback. And Laban answered and said to Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and this flock is my flock, and all that you see is mine. Is that the truth? No. That ain't the truth, is it? But what shall I do today to these, my daughters, or to these children whom they have borne? And now come, let us make a covenant, you and I, and it shall be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it upon a standing column, and Jacob said to his brothers, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there on the heap. And Laban called it Yeger Sahaduta, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between you and me today. That is why it is called Galeed, also Mitzpah. Because he said, let Yahuwah watch between you and me when we are out of each other's sight. If you afflict my daughters, or if you take other wives besides my daughters, although no man is with us, see, Elohim is witness between you and me. And Laban said to Jacob, see this heap and see this standing column which I have placed between you and me? Now see, this is highlighted in yellow. So this is part of the lesson, right? This heap is a witness, and a standing column is a witness that I do not pass beyond this heap to you, and you do not pass beyond this heap and this standing column to me for evil. After all that these two have gone through, it's not saying you can't pass the column. It's saying you can't do evil. The Elohim of Abraham and Elohim of Nahor and the Elohim of their father rightly rule between us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Yitzchak. And Jacob slaughtered a slaughtering on the mountain and called his brothers to eat bread. And they ate bread and spent the night on the mountain. And Laban rose up early in the morning, kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban left and returned to his place. What a story. Lots of drama. Lots of drama for Jacob and Esau, no doubt. But that's life, right? Life comes with puppies. Stuff is going to happen. That's how that is. That's life. Michelet 29:11, a fool lets out all of his breath, but the wise keep it back, calms it down. The King James Version says, a fool uttereth all of his mind, but a wise man keepeth it in till afterwards. No, my wife and I, we did have an argument over whatever it was. I forget. Okay, but it seems like, really, been married 21 years, you would think that this would be mastered. This would be mastered. My parents were married for over 50 years, hand in hand. But I know they had to have some disagreements along the way. It's just the way that is. That's the way it is in a marriage. That's the way it is in any relationship. There's going to be some disagreements. But if we can make sure that we don't ever do evil towards one another. Wrap it up with this. 2 Corinthians. Corinthian bet. For the rest, brothers, rejoice, be made perfect, be encouraged, be of one mind, live in peace. And the Elohim of love and peace shall be with you. King James says, finally, brethren, farewell. Be perfect. Be of good comfort. Be of one mind. Live in peace. And the Yahuwah of love and peace shall be with you.
Can we get the blue letter on perfect, the word perfect?
The blue letter on perfect.
Yeah.
Somebody pull that up, please.
It's not what our mindset, our Western mindset. 100 years old.
Doesn't mean complete.
Complete, mature.
On the word that you had, like, they cannot pass the pillar.
Collar, the heat.
To do right. In the King James Version, it's horn. And Hebrew is Ra, Resh, and Ayin, right? It's H7451. And just to the outline, it's bad, evil, malignant, unpleasant, unhappiness, misery, pain, displeasing, bad, worse than, sad, unhappy, unkind, wicked. So in general, of person, of thoughts, so wickedness of thoughts, deeds or actions.
So,
There's a Greek. I read the Greek. Cathartism is G2675. To render, to fit, sound, complete, to mend, to repair, to fill out, equip, put it in order, arrange, adjust, to fit or frame oneself, prepare, to straighten, perfect, complete, make one what he ought to be. That's perfect.
what he ought to be. So I think that's that design that the Most High, that's that mold that we're trying to just fit into, right? That the Most High created us a certain way that we're supposed to be. But because we're in this flesh, because we're carnally minded, we struggle sometimes. Lots of times. Lots of times. You know, it's real easy to say, because we've all read Maccabees where we were supposed to use our logic to override our passions. We all understand that logically, but the fact is we're still in the flesh and we still have emotions. And sometimes we might say a thing without thinking it through and considering it. Sometimes we might do a thing. Sometimes it may not even be your fault. Sometimes it's just a puppy, okay? It's just stuff is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah, stuff is going to happen. And we've been warned that as we see these days appearing, wars and rumors and wars and earthquakes in dire places, we need to buckle up. We need to buckle up. Endure. And have these examples of leadership where you have to remember these things so that we can conduct ourselves accordingly. Okay? That's what we got to do. We got to do more, and we got to choose to mature more. But if you're good at getting off on the 3rd floor, okay, I get it. Some might say I'm at the 5th floor, I'm getting off. Some might say I'm good to the next level. Right? So this is I want y'all to be encouraged because we are going into another year. Most High will. Right? Most High will. And we're at different stages. We got to consider that too. Sometimes we don't add that part as part of the equation. Sometimes we have a tendency to react versus responding in our conversations with one another. So we've held it together. Let's see if we can do it another year. Let's see if we can just hold it all together and grow and do more and be more. Any thoughts?
I don't know if y'all been paying attention, there's a lot going on. Russia is going back to the gold standard. So the sanctions that we put on Russia are not going to have any effect. So they're going to so now all the sanctions that are going to come our way, all the price, all the inflation will go to the roof and it'll further devalue the dollar. And then you got to look at the World Economic Forum and all the stuff they're talking about within the next 6 years, 8 years. So you got to be prepared.
So in other words, be prepared. Pay attention to that stuff.
Right now, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's one of the hugest keys in all the scripture is preparation, so that you're not caught off guard. But we have Mashiach and we got Torah as our foundation. So none of this stuff probably shouldn't be no surprise, right? No, it shouldn't be a surprise. It's just, I should have expected it, but I didn't expect it. But boot camp is going to start. I'm old school. We used to get a piece of paper, a newspaper, right? And that's all they had to do is hear that paper. They straighten right up.
So you just read scripture about not doing harm to your wife.
Can you go back to that Proverbs one again? 29:11.
Proverbs 29:11.
What you had, right?
Yes.
All right, so you got Sirach 3, 29, so Lydia found earlier. It says, the heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. So, yeah, I'll read that one more time. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. That was Sirach 3:29. Very good.
I think sometimes we got to be patient with ourselves. You know, this book is a book of mysteries. You just ain't going to get it all. You're not going to understand it all. Sometimes, often, it has to be revealed to you through the Ruach. There's things I still don't understand. Hey, a lot of stuff. My wife will ask me a question. Hey, I don't know. let's try to search it out. And then guess what? You go down the road a little ways, a little bit longer, a little bit more time, a couple of years go by. Oh, maybe that's what this means. And I have a greater understanding, right? So that's why it's so important to have meekness of mind and humbleness of the heart, right? And, the Most High give it to you when you need to have it, rest assured. But just like how he was with Jacob, he's with all of us. Absolutely.